Yeah. All right. So I've pressed go live. Now I've got to go install Audacity because I totally don't have it installed. Let's see, Audacity. No, no. Ocean Audio is the Audacity backup for me, at least. Yeah, yeah. We get fun audio glitches. Oh, dude. Yes. Uh, yes. I mean, I'll talk about that. I'll, yeah, if it doesn't have all of its issues, yeah, it's actually really fun. Hey. All right, let's see. Let's see. Before I start being like all funny about it, let me make sure this one's gonna work. Recording, recording, recording. Stop. Let's play. Ah, yes, but it's not mono. That's fucking epic. Let's fix that. Uh, how do I fix that? I cannot remember audio setup. Like, isn't it audio settings? Do channels. There we go. One mono. Oh, yep. Hold on, boys. Well, I am, but I'm not at the same time. Properties. Let's click that. Um, no, it's just catching. It's just picking up me again. What the fuck? Oh my! No, wait, no. We cursing. We cursing. Cursing's fine. Uh, what properties? All right, hold on. Boys, the stream will be back up in just a second. I'm gonna uh, close OBS and reopen it, and I select broadcast. Here we go. All right, so this should work now. Now
it should work. It probably doesn't work, but
it does
work.
According to OBS, this shit does work. Fingers crossed, boys. Can we get a check on audio?
I can hear myself, if that helps any.
I think that helps. I think it does.
Okay. So stop, delete recording.
Get your head on a silver platter.
Create new recording. Initiate recording now.
So now Steve's a dark mage.
Yes. Steve is definitely the dark mage.
All right, audio's good. Sick.
You know, this GNOME sound recorder app is actually really good if all you're doing is just recording a microphone input.
So, I guess we'll allocate the part of the live stream for shilling for GNOME products now.
Of course, because I am on a GNOME-based distribution, and we have gone all in GNOME to the point where we're running Discord through Epiphany.
I'm just going to
decline. Who needs a native client? Who needs a native comment?
No.
I refuse to comment on that.
More Steam.
Don't worry. The Steam talk isn't coming. All right. So we should have audio set up properly for everyone who is out of the loop and is wondering why we're doing this on my channel. Matt is a little under the weather, and so we're just going to go ahead, do the live stream. We're going to send all of the recording over to him and the fully edited podcast, which hopefully he doesn't have to edit all that much. Would be good. I'm going to go ahead. I'm also going to start recording early. Now, I'm going to stop recording and then re-record, so that way Matt has at least some of the pre-show if he wants to edit that.
I'm just going to do the thing that I normally do with it, but I'm just going to...
Please don't. Please don't.
Why?
Please,
Okay.
please press
Okay.
recording. You're told Matt's sick. We don't want to make this too difficult on him because
All right.
there's already a good chance that this live stream is going to be much longer than usual because Matt's normally the one who keeps us like on the ropes and moving towards.
First of all, Steve, you have a wire that's in your camera.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty. You know.
Record in 3, 2, 1.
Please.
3, 2, 1. Record.
Oh, okay, fine.
I've been recording this whole time because I want proof that Zany did a good job.
Well,
We'll just watch the live stream.
yeah, they'll find out real quick. but anyway, so Matt's a little under the weather, but we're gonna go ahead do the live show here and everything, and send him all the recorded stuff. And so hopefully he can go ahead and like edit it up, throw it on his channel whenever he's feeling better, or you know, he's bored. I have no idea, but. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and talk about stuff that Matt normally would, at this point, please ask us to remove, which is fantastic. We also have no direct time limit. He did directly give us permission to do upwards of a 3-hour-long podcast, so this is going to be interesting.
Careful. I lose power at midnight.
Don't worry. If the power gods
It's
bless
fine.
you, we're going longer.
See, what we'll do is we'll go through like about 15 minutes of bullcrap, and then we're gonna have the distro hacking segment where we literally break this distro that I'm on.
Oh, I mean, I let's be honest, boys, before we start up this podcast, if Josh randomly goes, that means he just did something to the system. Probably something very normal, like updated a package, and then the whole thing nuked itself.
I mean, that's what happened to Arch.
Yeah.
In Josh's case, long live Mac OS.
Oh, dude, I don't
I can't
think
use
Josh
Mac OS on my hardware.
Yeah, I was about to say. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I didn't think. Have you ever ran Mac OS?
Back in 1999.
Oh, I mean that's
It has been a while.
yeah. I mean that was like
it was-
real recently.
Yeah,
Or
it was
as they
real
call it
recently.
in
It was on by far what I still think is actually one of the coolest computers ever made. You know that old Macintosh CRT where it was just the all-in-one computer and you could see into it.
Yeah, the good ones.
Man, people knew how to make electronics back in the day. I can tell you that much.
Well, all right, boys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and press recording here in just a second. I'm going to do a countdown, and hopefully you guys will also start recording. So I've pressed recording in OBS, and of course Audacity has gone missing. Jesus.
Of course.
There we go. All right, so
Window manager problems.
let's do this. I'm going to press record now, and then
All right.
let's do the claps. Who wants to take the lead on this? It's gonna be fucking terrible no matter what, but let's do it.
I'll do it.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
Steve will do it. Let's do it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, what the fuck? Come on, that was so quick. 3, 2, 1.
He was quick on that.
Who knows? Ironically, it might be better. It might be better. I have no idea. It's probably terrible, but sorry, Matt. Have a good one.
Yes, and Mac, by the way, this is a dynamic microphone where I can't put enough gain into it, so I don't even know if it picked up the clap. Hopefully it did.
Hopefully. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's get started. I guess I'm going to do the intro for the podcast, which is probably going to be butchered.
Do you even know how to do an intro?
No, I do not. I also have completely forgotten the normal intro that Matt does for this, but I'm going to wing it, and this is going to be interesting.
It's like, hey, welcome to the Linux cast.
Yeah,
my name is...
We're,
Not Matt.
Again, we're going to wing it, all right?
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Linux cast. I'm your host today, Tyler.
I'm Josh.
And Steve, sorry.
Steve's going to be promoting some stuff hardcore throughout the stream. Welcome, everybody. This is the live version. The edited version, everything will actually be up on Matt's channel. So if you want to wait to watch that for whatever reason, or you're watching this afterwards and you'd like to see the edited version because, you know, it's got timestamps and nice stuff like that in it, head on over to Matt's channel. Hopefully it'll be up by the time you're watching this. Maybe, maybe not. He's sick, so, you know, give him some headway. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's fun little stream. So we're going to do our normal stuff, go through our, you know, normal news articles, and then we'll get to the information stuff, move on past that, do some more stuff, get to our thingies of the week. Hopefully, there's no time constraints on this, and I will not be guiding us towards the end of the podcast like Matt normally does. So fingers crossed, buckle up. This is going to be a long ride. All right. So, what's our first news article of the day? I guess we'll go with Steve leading us off. So, what's your news article that you want to start off with?
I want to start off. Okay. My first news article, you caught me off guard, is KDE delivers more Wayland fixes and Plasma 6.0 changes. Of course, it's going to be KDE news from the KDE SuperSim. They are fixing a lot of things. I need to reopen the freaking article because I didn't.
Let's see here. It has come down to the good old-fashioned bullet points on Phoronix. Here's what I'm reading. Arc, the archiving program, added more features because, you know, more features to go with features on KDE Plasma is always a good thing. Several UI enhancements to make Elisa hopefully a good music player, which it is still not. Ocular Document Viewer has a brand new default toolbar layout because standards. Plasma 6.0 will expose global actions for system restart and shutdown via key binding. So we have some implementation of global key binds on a Wayland session. Improved error reporting when importing VPN configurations because, you know, sometimes you don't want to troubleshoot your open VPN connection.
And that's been an issue for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, KDE Discover will actually tell you how its download progress for Flatpaks, which is amazing.
It's showing the actual, because the issue currently with Discover is when you download Flatpaks, it will show you it will go from 0 to 100. But the package is not actually downloaded. It still needs time to download it. So it stays at 100% until the package is actually downloaded. I've been through that, and that's why I don't use Discover. And another issue with Discover that they really need to figure out, that Nicolo talked about recently, is the fact that the reason, because Matt talked about it, and he reacted to Matt's video, where Matt complained about Discover being slow. The reason the Discover is slow because they integrated the KDE store within it to update the widgets and themes that you get from the KDE store. But because the store is continuously having issues on the back end, it causes Discover to hang and stall and sometimes crash. So they need to freaking, even if they have to, in my opinion, even if they have to remove the goddamn KDE store from it, remove it, make Discover responsive, and stop hanging. Create a separate store if you have to for the widgets and whatnot for KDE store instead of keeping it hidden within settings. Not a lot of people look deep within settings to figure out where where to get widgets and stuff. Either separate or fix the goddamn store. The issue with the KDE store.org has existed for over 3 years.
It's actually existed way back in the day because it's still using the old Pling store front end.
So they need to fix it, get a new host, get dedicated servers. I don't know what you do. Just stop with your with this shitty backend. You've been putting it on the back burner for long enough. And then for keyboards with an emoji key, hitting hitting it will now open KDE's emoji picker now. Well, yeah, hello.
Thank you.
Like it should have been the case like a while ago. Fixing the way GTK apps scale themselves within the Plasma Wayland session. Yeah, more Wayland fixes. I cannot talk a lot about Wayland because
NVIDIA.
don't use it. Plasma no longer quits, crashes when an app sends a window title that's too long under Plasma Wayland session. Yes, this was mentioned by one of my users earlier today, I guess. He tried Wayland. He installed Wayland on Zero Linux. He enabled Wayland on Zero Linux. He logged into Wayland, and he's got window because he uses his language. I forgot what language it was. Some titles were much longer. It was causing Windows to crash. He reported it today on my GitHub. So this is something good to see. Screen recording and task manager thumbnails now work properly for NVIDIA GPUs with the proprietary drivers on Wayland. That alone, to me, is the biggest part of the whole article.
Yeah, we definitely need to start seeing more bullet points on these kind of articles hitting the NVIDIA GPU section when it comes to Wayland. Like that's
they put it at the end for some reason.
I know, which is wild. Like the biggest point, like, hey, it works with
this is the
NVIDIA.
biggest one.
Yeah,
I think it's fine because my GPU right now works better on Wayland than it does Xorg.
Oh, by the way, Josh, since you are the only one, well, since you are it's normal that you're the only one who has the Arc GPU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we, me, and many other distros decided to remove the XF86 video Intel because a lot of people with the Arc GPU told me that driver has been deprecated for a long time. It's all baked into the kernel now. And
Yeah.
Actually, keep it installed.
Well, you should keep it installed for older Intel, like what is it? Older Intel iGPUs.
So what that pulls in is the old i9-15 driver, which the Arc GPU does actually make callbacks to the i9-15 driver for stuff like the quick sync encoder.
The i9-15. In the article it was something along the lines of i195 is causing crashes and what have you. So a lot of distros started removing the Intel XF86 video driver from their distros. I decided to remove it as well, but I told users if you need it, you can manually install it.
Yeah, okay. That and older X applications will actually talk to the XF86 and Intel driver, purely for like legacy library calls and stuff too. So it's actually
basically that driver is still required for some legacy hardware.
Yes. Yeah, it's required for your old-fashioned Xorg applications. I don't think I think it's purely Xorg that's still making the calls. It's nothing like the application itself. So stuff like DWM, DWM doesn't make any calls dedicated to the GPU itself. It's handling that through an Xorg library, which is what talks with the video driver.
No, that's why those drivers start off with X, because they are directly related to X. Oh
yeah, the only ones I include on the Zero Linux ISO are the virtual ones, the virtual machine ones, and that's it. Everything else is offered via the tool. But
I'm glad.
Should I reintroduce the ability to install the Intel drivers?
Yes.
Yes. It should be there.
Yeah.
I think
I'll re-put it.
If it does start causing crashes, then you can remove. But I'll be honest with you, I'm using it just fine.
and Josh is drinking out of the Zero Linux cup. Thank you, Josh.
Well, so actually, I'm glad that we started off on this article because it did remind me of what we skipped, and that would be what we did this week in Linux. So, just because in chat I've already seen quite a few people ask because I am back on Linux. So I'll go ahead and start off, and then we'll go clockwise. So Josh and then Steve. But so what I did this week in Linux is I finally not finally, but I got off of Windows. The fact that like the power mafia in Microsoft is still super fucking strong. Like no matter what you do, you're not allowed to not have your computer go to sleep. Like Windows will not respect your never selection, no matter what. I even edited registry files. That bitch still goes to sleep and kills all your applications, which is just... Well, actually, I did find a way around that. You just constantly have to have a game running in the background, which for me and my addiction to Project Zomboid, that's
not a problem.
Yeah, it's not hard. I can do that. But so I did go ahead and switch off, mainly because I really just wanted to find a Linux distro that was like very focused on stability, but also at the same time
Zero G.
Doesn't look
very
like crap?
well, no, it was very polished. Like I just wanted everything to match.
Does high display rate rendering properly? You know.
Yeah, high DPI, rendering is kind of
like
important.
Actual good high DPI support.
Yes, that
Zero G.
No, it's no. And it's not because it's 0G, it's because it's GNOME. GNOME does not treat my ultra wide properly at all. There's a whole bunch of stuff that GNOME doesn't do right, and also to this day, it's not a completely cohesive experience, which it's much better than KDE, but still is not cohesive.
And on the bright side, as long as you're using the applications intended for your desktop environment, it actually looks beautiful.
Yeah.
The problem is that you only have a selection of about 30 applications to pick from.
Yeah. Now, so I tried out Elementary OS, which I've picked on in the past for being a new user-focused distro, and it just not being that great. It's fucking phenomenal. They've changed a lot since the last time I checked them out. It's great. High DPI display support is phenomenal. It making use of my ultra wide, very good. It's not perfect, but it is surprisingly good. It's very, very close to Windows. If anyone who's on the Elementary dev team ever wants to like fix it completely, talk to me. We can do that. I'll tell you exactly what needs to happen and what's not happening on a vertical ultra wide. I got you. But yeah, like it's been phenomenal. I have really, really enjoyed Elementary OS, and it is polished throughout. Like the amount of work that's gone on with Pantheon is insane. Like it's really good. Now it's not customizable.
It's GNOME
at all,
It's
which I don't have a problem with.
It's a GNOME downstream fork.
Well, yes, but it doesn't, like, the problem is like when you use it, it doesn't feel anything like GNOME at all. Like it's totally different. But that's what I've been doing this week, and that's why I'm back on Linux. Josh, what you been up to?
Last week my venerable 5700 XT died. The one GPU that has served me very well the past 4.5 years. It's done everything from crypto mining to Plex transcoding. And I think it finally decided to burn up and die in a pit of fire in the wonderful clouds of the blue smoke when three of the capacitors blew up on it.
Oh, fun. Yeah. And I'm sure that doesn't have anything to do with the mining that was happening on it. Like
it sure doesn't. But we back when we were mining on it, we were not undervolting it like we were supposed to. We were overvolting it, just to get more mining performance. Yeah, so never mind about the fact that we do anything reasonable with our hardware. But anyways, since then I've gone all in. I am running a 100% pure Intel stack from top to bottom, CPU and GPU these days. Because the Linux 6.2 kernel came out. Unfortunately, the Linux 6.2 kernel does not exist for Debian, and the Liquix kernel does not ship Intel Arc drivers. Yep. Who knew? Yep. So that was a complete disaster, and of course I failed the distro challenge. So I had to go and buy Matt Steak at some point this summer. But anyways, as a result, I decided, you know what? Let's install Arch Linux, and then Arch Linux, wonderful distribution, works flawlessly, no problem whatsoever. Not the fact that I actually had to dial up the network administrator at my ISP just to set up a dedicated package meter for me.
Then it stopped.
Yeah, and then I just ran a Yay Tech SYU running something like 60 plus rather critical AUR packages, and of course the whole operating system broke, so I installed 0G, which I had this really old ISO for 0G. I ran an update, broke grub. Oh no, the terror! So it's just like, okay, so then I had to blow up 0G, and then it's like, tell you what, we're just gonna take the time to figure out like all this wonderful tooling that Steve uses for his distro. We created our own fork of Zero Linux. We call it Hype Zero because we're not using Hyperland. But just to let you know, Steve, your mirror works a lot more reliably than any other Arch mirror that I've actually experimented with besides my ISP's dedicated package mirror. Just to let you know.
Cool.
GitLab actually works.
Those were generated from Lebanon. So.
Yep. So right now we're currently running our own fork of Zero Linux. It is not actually 0G. There is no fancy theme work. It is literally just bone stock GNOME with no actual applications besides GNOME applications because GNOME is king.
All right. Steve, what you been up to? Hopefully not jumping through hoops like that.
No, definitely not. I was just trying to get Calamares to look as awesome as it ended up for all the people who downloaded the latest release, which went online last night. Calamares looks better than it ever did, and thanks to the guys over at Core ISO Telegram channel, they helped me a lot. I ported it to 3.3 alpha, but I don't consider it alpha quality. I consider it more like RC quality because it's been in alpha 2 for like a year. But I've been tinkering with Calamares a lot and working on with someone from Mastodon on the new Zero Linux 2. I was supposed to ship it with the new release, but due to hectic work and stuff on his end, he wasn't able to finish it. So I'm gonna release it as an update soon. But other than that, I was doing something that we're gonna talk about at the end when we reach our thingy of the week, because it's gonna be hilarious. So buckle up, people.
All right. Okay, so let's get back to the articles, because I'm sure we're going to take plenty of time with all of these. Josh, what's your article of the week?
Oh, my article is a spicy one. Docker apologizes, but they're still going to force you to pay up if you're in an open source team. So anyways, Docker is, a buzz phrase that's been going around in industry and all that. And, everybody loves Docker. Everybody loves pulling things from Docker. But unfortunately, the Docker hub itself needs to monetize. And they've badly needed to monetize since 2017. Docker's finances are something else if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole. But anyways, what's going on is that Docker put out an announcement about 3 or 4 days ago saying that any team or organization is going to need to start paying for a subscription. That way, Docker will actually host their projects on Docker Hub. The
$420, I think, $470.
It is $60 a year per project. Basically, if you're in like a full team, it's $300. If you're a proper business making profits and all that stuff, it's $1,400 or something like that. But anyways, so because they did a wonderful miscommunication, even up to this article, basically they're saying that we came out with this program saying that, hey, if you're an open source project that's operating as a team, you can. You can. I need to learn how to talk. Give me a second.
Don't worry. I'm right. This is going to be one of those days. As soon as my article comes up, I'm going to do the same thing.
But anyways, Docker came out and said, okay, so you can sign up for like this sponsorship thing where you can still use a team account and still publish your thing. And people have sent in emails asking for access to the sponsorship thing, of which they've gotten no replies. And all of their all of their official communications are being dealt with through Twitter and GitHub issues, which is a great, fantastic resource to do anything but make a blog post on Docker Hub's website, like they should, to address all these concerns.
Dude, if I'm having to get customer support through Twitter, fuck that. I'm done.
Yeah. Never at Team YouTube for anything. It's just a waste.
Yeah.
But anyways, this doesn't affect just Docker. This will also affect Podman, because this is a container registry host. This is the repository you're pulling your containers from. So realistically, the only solution right now is to stop posting your projects on the Docker Hub and instead either self-host or find another register to pull your Docker containers from. I know the Linux Server IO team actually has their own repository that they're going to be posting all their containers to. And that's really about the only group that I really know of. Thankfully, a lot of the self-hosted applications that you're pulling from the Docker Hub are actually not team managed, but they're actually individually managed, which that basically means that if you're posting your Docker container as an individual rather than a team, it's actually free of charge.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Docker does financially in the future, because you are right. If no one's checked out Docker's financials, it's fun. Check it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a wonder that they can still manage.
Has never used Docker or got interested with Docker or needed Docker.
Well, your website's hosted on Docker.
Yeah.
What?
Your website's hosted on Docker.
Yeah, it's hosted on Docker.
What does that mean? I don't know what you mean.
Well, it's hosted through a Docker container, which most are. I mean, most VPNs are using essentially Docker or not VPNs, VPSs for very basic stuff. Like, that's what a lot of people use. Is just it's essentially a Docker container. If it's not literally a Docker container.
No, it's a regular web host with cPanel.
Yeah, cPanel only distributes their software through a Docker container these days. So when you load the cPanel interface, you're connected to a Docker container to be able to host that.
I learned something new today. Okay, cool.
You're welcome.
No, I mean, that doesn't mean you're like getting into the nitty gritty of Docker, but still, like, Docker is one of those things where, like, even if you don't make use of it, you probably, especially if you're hosting stuff or doing stuff on the internet, you're probably making use of Docker in places where you're not directly having to.
If it's a VPS, most probably they're using Docker.
There's like a 99% chance, unless it's some old school shop that's still using BSD for all their servers.
Yeah, or even if they're not using Docker, they're using a Docker-like solution, probably proprietary or something.
This is how they distribute on a mass scale, basically.
Yeah.
Docker makes it very easy.
Yeah, it's reproducible. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you can clone and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, by the way, should I do this update? It's got ALSA,
probably
ALSA
not.
Topology in the name.
Probably
so
not.
It's something to do with ALSA.
Just probably not.
Probably should not update your system mid podcast.
Yeah. All right. So
no, because Pamak has been nagging me in the tray, telling me there are updates.
Yeah.
So I'm like staring at it. Okay, should I do the update?
That bitch can wait. Trust me, that bitch can wait. All right, so for my article this week, I've got NordVPN has open sourced its Linux VPN client and libraries. So that just means that today we can talk about our sponsor, NordVPN. No, I'm just kidding. All right, no, we're not going there. All right. So
I was about to say, you better not start a VPN segment, because I will rage at you.
Hey, come on! Like, we got to get money somehow, and
especially Nord.
Look, if the FBI
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What is a VPN?
You don't know what a VPN is? Seriously? You don't make use
never used one, so
realistically, this is how a VPN works. Have you ever heard of like a proxy before, right?
Yes,
or basically you just bouncing your internet traffic.
In UAE, they use a proxy. Yeah.
Yeah, a VPN is literally just a proxy, except that you're sending all your traffic through the one pipe.
Yeah.
Basically, all you're doing.
Doesn't it blow up?
No.
No. So like the most basic
No
version
need
of
to
their
explain. I
VPN.
was just kidding.
Well, that's why I said, "Are you serious?" And you said yes. Like there are people out there who
I
don't
wanted
know.
you to see if you're gonna believe it or not. Like, oh, geez, virtual private networks. I know what it is.
Okay.
I'm glad somebody
But
does.
I don't use
Especially
it
in
because
Lebanon. I figured that you would know exactly what that is.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody uses it here, but I don't understand. I tried to use it once, and it slowed down the internet traffic maybe 100,000-fold.
yes, it will slow down your traffic depending on where you're connecting
And
to.
my connection is slow already, so why would I need one?
Well, you would need one when your country cares about piracy. That's when they come real in handy.
Which my country doesn't. But people use it mostly for something called Flixnet, Netflix, something like that.
Yeah, try to get that American Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, Japanese Netflix, to my understanding, is actually really awesome, and I should try connecting to Japan. And
well, I mean, I've connected to Canada to get some shows.
You'll be watching a lot of anime.
All right, so
something like Japanese reality TV.
Well, all right. So for those who do understand what VPNs are, and you've probably heard of NordVPN, the best VPN, definitely not a honeypot. Like there's literally zero chance that it's FBI owned or funded. Zero chance of that. So they've decided to open source.
What does Zero Linux have to do with it? You said zero.
Well, hopefully Zero Linux is also funded 0% by the FBI, but. You know, I don't know if there's something you got to tell us. Let us know. But yeah, so NordVPN is trying to be more transparent, which sure, okay. So I gotta ask the question: now that NordVPN is gonna like open source some of their stuff. Would either of y'all be well, I know Steve's not interested in VPN, but Josh, do you now trust NordVPN more?
No, because I prefer WireGuard over OpenVPN.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
Actually, I don't even think Nord's using OpenVPN. I think they're using their own VPN protocol.
Oh. Yeah, I definitely don't trust it. Okay, so Nord said, we're making these products open source as a sign of our commitment to transparency and accountability. That is a load of market speak, and but quite frankly, it's a heap of shit. That's what it is.
It is like the most accurate market speech off of a NordVPN ad that I've ever seen right there. But you know, at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm going to sign up for NordVPN.
Yeah. God. I genuinely I just saw this and I was like, all right, we have to talk about it, because like, if there's one VPN company that I truly believe is a honeypot and ran by a government agency, it's NordVPN. Like,
it's definitely NordVPN. Because, you know, they're the ones that are like paying YouTubers to advertise that, you know, you install the NordVPN and suddenly you're secure and private from every website ever.
Yeah.
When in reality, you're only secure from where you are to where the VPN is hosted, and that's it. And Surfshark is also pretty bad, Clay. You got that right. But at the same time, all VPN ads, just take them all with a grain of salt. They're not as private as they actually claim to be. Even Mulvad.
Mulvad, private internet access, like it doesn't matter. They're all stealing your shit, like, if we're being honest, or at least documenting it. Like, I guess people don't understand like laws and regulations, like where these places are ran. Like, essentially, unless your VPN is ran off an island in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, they're keeping records. Like, it's how it works. It's just how it works.
You said keeping record, vinyl records?
Yes,
vinyl records.
Yes.
I like that.
I mean, that's the best way of storing information. Wait, hold on. You guys don't use records for your ISOs? Where do you reliably host them?
Me have big collection record, big disc, black disc.
Well, I would like one with 0G on it, as quickly as you can send it my way.
I still have a bunch of floppy disks with Slackware 3.
Why? Why?
We are welcome to the 21st century, boss.
Because I paid $17 for it back in like 2007 or something like that.
And what about that $17 air marks it for never getting put in the trash bin?
No, but on a serious note, you're right. VPNs, they keep records even if they tell you that no, we don't, and we don't track you. We don't. No, don't. For them to say that, to have a reason to say that means they are doing.
Yeah. Well, of course. Like, I guess just some people don't understand the idea of a honeypot. Like, they like the idea.
The only VPN I will actually take any privacy I'll take any privacy features with seriously is Mulvad, and that's just because you can write your account number on an envelope and send them cash.
Yep.
That's the only one I trust for that reason.
But yeah, I when I was in Dubai, I had no choice but to use a VPN or used to call them the proxy breakers, because over there they blocked, they controlled the media and the newspapers and stuff like that. They only wanted you to get informed through their controlled media.
Yeah.
So any outside sources, kind of like China, but not on that massive a scale.
Yeah.
Still, you can access pirate sites, porn sites, other news outlets. So we had to use VPNs for that. But back in the day, back in the 90s, we never called them VPNs. We just called them anti-proxy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean, that's quite frankly what they are. That's
yeah, exactly. But but you notice immediately
private, like the private part there, like it sells the product so much better.
Yeah, private is not really private. They keep your data. They sell it whenever they want, without even letting you know. All that. That's why now, because I used to work like a few years ago. I worked there for 3 years. We tried to use VPNs, but the government banned the use of VPN. Yeah. If you try to use a VPN, as soon as it's detected, your internet account gets a flag.
That's when you just spin up a VPS and just SSH tunnel everything. Basically, make your own VPN over port 22.
That's one way of doing it, but that's the long way of doing it, the Josh way of doing it. But still, it's annoying because a lot of people in the Emirates wanted to watch content on Netflix that was outside the UAE, because in UAE is one of those countries where they had movies made specifically for them with love scenes cut out, with kissing scenes cut out, with
a live update for my article,
instead of blurring or any of that, God forbid, they just if a movie was an hour and 48 minutes, you end up watching 59 minutes. A movie 59 minutes long.
Yeah, they gotta censor all of the disturbing scenes, like characters.
So exactly, and people wanted access to the full unedited version, uncensored version, and whatnot. They needed a VPN, but now they ban VPNs because the UAE, the VPNs were mostly used on routers, because in the UAE, to make a FaceTime call, you had to pay around 15 extra bucks on your cell phone carrier or whatever. To make a WhatsApp call, it's 25 bucks.
Yeah,
extra.
I mean, that's what VPNs were always for, is getting around legislation in your area. That was bullshit.
Yeah, but boy, do they have a lot of data on everyone. Boy, do they have a lot of data on everyone. Because everyone is using them.
Yep. Well, all right, so let's go on to the contact information, then we'll move on to the next round of articles. So let me try to do this without completely butchering it. So if you would like to contact us, here's where you can go to do it. First thing that you probably want to do is go over to subscribe to, Matt's channel. Like, let's get that out of the way. So you can go over to the linuxcast.org website. No, stop talking about Project Zomboid. Stop. Okay, so go over. You can subscribe, and you can also check out Matt's website, and it has all of these links to everything over there. But make sure go to the Linux Cast channel, subscribe to Matt's actual channel to get the rest of these podcasts and stuff. You can also go over and hit him up on Patreon at patreon.com/the Linux Cast. Also subscribe. Again, already talked about that. You can also subscribe here because who knows, might be doing this in the future, have no idea. And you can also subscribe to Josh's channel and check out his website at tinleyj.com/stalker. Perfect URL. Beautiful.
You're welcome.
You can also check out Steve's channel. A link to that will be in the description. And you can also email us at email@thelinuxcast.org. Matt will get that. I will not. And then you can also check us out and contact us through the linuxcast.org/contact page as well. Also, don't forget we do have a merch store as well. I don't think it's down in the description, but I'm pretty sure you can find that over at the linuxcast.org. So if you want to pick up, shirts with Matt's logo on it or my meme face on the back of it, you can do that. And yeah,
I'm the only one here without merch.
Well, it's probably a good thing because, I got to be honest, I checked on our Teespring and it's been a year since I did that, and so I was like, oh, I'm sure we'll have an order. We didn't the last time I checked, which is probably like a week or two ago.
Start plugging it.
Well, that's the thing. We do such a terrible job of plugging it. Most people don't even know it exists. So, yeah. But yeah, so we've covered the contact page, and I guess we'll get back into the articles, and I'll let Steve kick us off with the next article.
The next article. This time I have it up and it's in front of me. Wine 8.4 released with the early Wayland graphics driver code, 51 bug fixes. Finally, Wine is getting is giving love to Wayland. Not that I care, but for now, people don't get angry at me. For now, I'm still me. I'm gonna say one thing before I start talking about this article. I talked about it on my podcast, but I need to get it out there because Matt keeps complaining, and sometimes me being a KDE super simp, sometimes I don't understand. Okay, KDE, I agree with everybody that says KDE is full of bugs. Yes, I do agree. KDE has bugs. Oh boy, I know. But if you're patient enough, you remember that bug I kept telling you about many episodes for multiple episodes that I get whenever watching videos. Something happens, it stutters for a second, and then it goes back to normal.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was at some point. I started thinking it was something wrong with my hardware, but finally it got addressed. It was an issue with the AMD U code in the kernel. So AMD sent a last-minute patch to the kernel 6.2.6 where they fixed it. So it wasn't me. So be patient with KDE. Be patient with everything. With enough patience, everything will fix itself. That being said, Wine getting support or initial support for Wayland, that's a huge step forward, especially for gamers. For me, that means the SteamDeck will at some point integrate Wayland once Wine gets more stable on the Wayland side. But what the article says is the Wine Wayland DRV is already in the code. But unfortunately, this article is very
it's very short.
A diet. Because that's all it says, basically, that the Wayland driver is already inside Wine, but not activated. So isn't yet ready for end users or gamers, but is at an early stage, work in progress. It will take some time still before this native Wayland support is ready to complement the X Wayland support. Well, X Wayland is like running Xorg inside Wayland. So.
Yeah.
It's like emulating Xorg.
Just so we're clear, the Steam Deck does actually use Wayland. it uses pretty much all the games are ran through. No, not pretty much all. All the games are ran through GameScope, which is actually a Wayland compositor. So this.
Wait. Go back a second. You're telling me the Steam Deck is running on Wayland?
Yes.
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 But they were running on Pulse Audio.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can use Pulse Audio with Wayland.
Yeah.
That said, the only reason why Pipewire is used on Wayland is purely for video.
Mm-hmm.
Or
For
using it on
capture.
OBS.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's why you keep hearing about Pipewire and Wayland. Plus, Pulse Audio doesn't have like actual native support for recording desktop applications on Wayland as well because of the Wayland protocols. So that's why there's a Pipewire backend used by Pulse Audio. So you've actually always had Pipewire on the Steam Deck. All right.
Yeah, I noticed it when I updated.
Yeah, it's just
and
that now
lost all
they've
my settings.
Yeah, it's just now that they're actually using it by default.
So they have both Pulse and Wayland and Pipewire.
Pipewire. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They've been
because
using since I got it, they've been using Pulse Pipewire for certain stuff. I don't think
just
they're
noticed
using Pulse
it,
for everything.
Yeah.
When they updated and broke all my settings.
Yeah, if you type in, if you open up a terminal and just type in pactl info, it will tell you what backend you're actually using.
Yeah, but I noticed that during the update, after it broke my stuff, it said Pulse Pipewire, and I was like, all this time I was telling people that the Steam Deck is not using Wayland because it's using Pulse Audio. I was wrong.
Now, when you enter desktop mode on the Steam Deck, you're actually using Xorg. I actually don't think you're actually using Wayland on desktop mode.
Yes, the desktop mode, I'm 99.9% sure loads up using X. I believe you can switch it over to Wayland. I don't know
but it's
how.
also KDE on Wayland, which is something else now.
Yeah.
It's functional. Yes, it is functional, but it's not. I wouldn't say that's
switch,
at the stage of
but how
practical.
can you switch if you don't see the lock screen when you log out? It takes you to the Steam UI.
Well, you could. Okay, you can do it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know the steps, but it's not going to be logging out, switching it at the login manager, and going back in. I think you have to edit config files so that when you load up the desktop mode, instead of loading up with Xorg, because I mean essentially, when you're switching from the Steam UI mode to the desktop mode, it's like it's using the same like type of configs that a login manager would use. So it's doing the work of a login manager behind the scenes, and then you get hit with the desktop mode. So I'm pretty sure you just edit configs.
Yeah, I need to edit the SDDM config or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't. Again, I don't think they're actually using a login manager, but they essentially have their, minimal, not really login manager.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I'll have to edit the config of that.
Yes, and then you can get it. I know I've seen some people talk about it because I've read about people switching over the desktop mode to
So
Wayland
I wasn't
before.
wrong by telling people on the desktop mode it wasn't using Wayland.
No, you're not wrong. It should be running X, but when you load up a game, I pretty sure even in the desktop mode, the way Steam is configured, it tries to load up every game still through using GameScope, which GameScope is
of course,
Wayland
because
compositor.
you get the overlay and everything.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, so back to this article. I still think this is a big deal for everyone who is using Wayland on the desktop or.
It is definitely a big deal because as somebody that's been tracking Wayland progress for a very long time, Wayland is actually a lot more efficient than Xorg. Simply because, Wayland's not actually running like a full display stack in the background on your system. So as a result, you're getting improved battery performance. You will actually get better GPU performance because the GPU is actually doing less
there
on
was
Wayland.
one report. Sorry to cut you off, Josh, but there was one report on my server where someone switched to Wayland and ran a game on Wayland. You notice that anti-aliasing was not all that great on Wayland.
Well, let me get to that. I was actually just getting to it. That said, a lot of GPU drivers, especially like the AMD and Intel drivers specifically, Intel seems to actually work a little bit better than AMD in this regard. But the actual driver stack for Wayland is still not nearly as mature on Xorg. That said, specifically for stuff like anti-aliasing, there's a difference in the way of how Wayland translates anti-aliasing than Xorg does, and that's actually part of the reason why.
Yeah.
So
And,
yes, there are still some pain points, especially when it comes to like your video games looking great and amazing on Wayland compared to Xorg.
How do they do it
But,
on the Steam Deck? How do they make them look so good? If they're running on that.
because your games are being ran through X Wayland. That's why they're not Wayland native.
Okay.
not yes, no.
Well,
Tech-
some games are Wayland native, yeah.
You and also the big thing about the Steam Deck is their driver stack that we're complaining about is much better than any other regular.
They're
AMD.
using their own implementation of the Mesa driver.
Yeah, they're using their own
it has
code.
already reached their repositories. 23.1 reached their repositories, and it's not even on Arch yet.
Yeah, they have that. That's kind of why the Steam Deck's not a great comparison, because they're essentially cheating compared to the rest of like Wayland gaming like world, because they have their own driver implementation it's just more fine-tuned for what they're doing.
Yeah, because it's a device that was created for one thing and one thing only, with one target, whereas on the more broader scale, it's supposed to do a million different other things at the same time.
Yep.
So yeah, I would see why it's so much better on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But all that, but the battery is still, to me, abysmal on the Steam Deck.
Yes,
Say the least.
but at the same time, it's really hard to stuff a battery in a device like that.
Yeah,
that's running a legitimate, like, technically it's a laptop processor, but not really. It is a beefed up laptop processor. And it's difficult.
Could literally, and the funny part is, I could literally watch the battery go down.
Yeah.
While I'm playing, I could watch it.
That said,
tick down.
It's also with like game optimizations, because PC games are not actually optimized for efficiency like they are on consoles.
It's doing double the work. It's pulling double duty.
Yeah.
So it's running the game. It's converting the code. It's
and the fact that you
pulling
can
double duty.
Really, in all honesty, like, you do have to give it to them. The fact that you can run Cyberpunk on that device with decent settings and get 2+ hours, like, you probably won't get 3, but you can get 2+ hours.
You can get more. You can get more. You can get up to 5 to 6 hours playing the Cyberpunk if you play it via remote, like render it on your PC and via streaming. And that would give you a lot more hours playing Cyberpunk. And
the cool part about that is, in a lot of use cases, that's how people are going to end up using the deck, because you're already going to have your big desktop computer somewhere in the house. But if you want to play that game that you would play sitting at the computer on the couch, where you can have the random conversations with your family, you're going to get way more battery life out of it, and it's probably going to be a more useful use case.
And especially with if you want to run games directly on the Steam Deck is beautiful. Or in Tyler's words, sexy.
Yes. Yes.
When you play indie titles. Ooh, and emulation.
Really, in all honesty,
it's built for that. It's built for that.
Even if you want to play AAA games, it is the great part about the Steam Deck is a short, like, if you want to play a AAA game and you're close to beating it, or you just want to get into it and you got a short flight, man, the Steam Deck is lit. Like, it is awesome, because if you've got a short flight, you can get in. The battery most likely will not die before you land, and you can have a nice.
I'm gonna be testing it. I'm gonna be testing it because my flight is an hour and a half.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Yeah, you could definitely fit in a nice AAA gaming experience on that flight. No problem.
Yeah, but so everybody knows, I'm gonna be joining the Project Zomboid team soon as we get off this call, because it just finished downloading, and it was only 2 gigs. I thought it was bigger than that.
No, it's a super small game. It's great.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna be installing it via GOG installer because I got it as a GOG dev game because it's still in development. If nobody knows,
Yes.
it's
That's
still in
actually,
development.
we're going to pivot and we're going to talk about that for a second because, again, we're going to make this longer and we've only been going for less than an hour, so we got time for tangents, boys. So, speaking of Project Envoy, actually, I believe it was Josh that made the argument. He took a look at it.
I tickled the beast. I woke the beast.
Yeah. So he took a look at Project Zomboid and said he was not interested because it was early access.
No. It doesn't.
Exactly.
Early access does not mean it's not good.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter to me. That's not good.
I've been playing Wreckfest since the day it started. They released it as an early alpha.
Well, hold on. So the point of early access is for games that are not finished and that are currently under active development and change frequently. Like a game that, like Apex Legends, should not be early access because all you're going to do is be adding more content to the game. That's all you're doing.
DLCs.
Exactly.
They should launch them as DLCs.
Exactly. Or just consistently update the game. Like that is not a use case for early access. Early access means active development and where the changes that you're going to be making literally change the gameplay itself. And a good example of that is, like, I think it was like 6 months ago, Project Zomboid did their animations update where they overhauled a lot of the animations and the actual difficulty of the game got way harder. So everything about like the early access argument with Project Zomboid, I don't get, because it's one of the few games in early access, for one, that doesn't denigrate the name early access, because it's not just a shit game. And then two, also, it's literally exactly what early access was originally designed for. It's a game that you can play and you can have a lot of fun with, but also is under active development. Like, essentially, if you won't play Project Zomboid because it's early access, you should not ever touch 0 AD. Because that bitch is still an alpha. And it is, I mean, it's been an alpha for like, what, 20 years? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's, and that game's great.
Yeah, but
my big complaint about like early access is that there are some games that are like 10 plus years old that are still early access and they haven't updated in like 3 or 4 years. Online? Yeah, EVE Online is actually one of them. But even though I don't buy EVE Online through Steam, I buy it from the proper channels.
Well, I've literally never played EVE Online, but I have heard of it a lot.
Case in point, Diablo 4, the beta. It's still in development, in active development. It won't be ready until summer, but they're using it for in the correct terms, developer beta or whatever they're calling it. Same thing with Wreckfest. I've been playing it since its alpha days, and it was constantly being developed. But like Tyler said, Wreckfest was not really in development. It was more adding content throughout its alpha, beta, and gamma, or whatever you call it, days until it got released. They were constantly adding cars, tracks, stuff like that, but they were not developing it. They were just adding content, so they were not using the correct terminology because it was on Steam. It said early access.
Now, now I will go ahead and give the devil his due on Josh's argument. No matter what, if the game is still in development, I don't think a game should go early access, period, anymore, just because early access itself holds a very bad stigma. Like, very bad.
Early access is like it's like giving you first dibs before it goes online.
Well, really, my argument stems from the fact nowadays, no matter what, there's so many shit early access games. You honestly get surprised. Like, if you find an early access game and like it's got a demo or you end up buying it and it's good, you're surprised, which is not a good thing. So in Josh's defense, I don't think Project Zomboid should be an early access game just because of what early access has become. Now,
Yes.
in Project Zomboid's defense, it is a very good early access game, and it's also meant for early access.
Yeah.
But still,
And I got
gotta
it,
give it a
and I have good news. I got it legit. I just need to install Galaxy to be able to access online stuff. But I got it legit for free.
Yes.
Why?
Is it? Wait, hold on.
Because
Is it
it's an
still
active
available?
development.
Is it still available for free through GOG?
Well, here's the thing. No, the copy I got says it's 4 months old.
Ah, gotcha.
So that one is when they stopped giving it for free.
Gotcha.
So 4 months ago they pulled the plug, and now it's you have to buy it. But I got an older version that's legit, but it's 4 months old, so I won't have access to the latest updates.
Yeah,
I can't
and
update it.
might also make it more difficult to play multiplayer.
Yeah,
not sure,
and I cannot update it. The guy over there, I have a friend who has internal access and stuff like that, that kind of thing. He was like, I have a copy of Project Zomboid, but it's 4 months old. This is the last one that was available for free. You won't have access to the latest, greatest, and whatever. I was like, it's fine. I just want to test it. I want to see what my friend Zany is on about. So it's okay. I'm gonna be playing it alone by myself anyway. I'm not a multiplayer gamer. So
well,
I'm
the
just
solo
gonna install it, see
experiences.
how it goes.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun.
If it's like you said, I need something. I realized this thing about myself lately. I don't play games that are that have action, a lot of action anymore. I like sit back and relax kind of game. Okay, you told me this is a frustrating game because the game literally starts by telling you this is how you died.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I saw it on your stream. I was like, what kind of game starts like that? Okay, I don't have a problem in dying in this kind of game because I saw it's isometric perspective type of view. So it's kind of relaxing. You can go into a house, you can plumage in the house, and you can spend hours in the house without being attacked or attacking anyone. So
Yeah.
to me, it's a bit of both. It's a little bit of action when you go out to survive, but you go back to a house, you close all the doors, you're good, you're relaxed.
Yep. You can do some base
sit
building.
and enjoy and discover.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go.
That's what I really enjoy about the game. It's got a balance of both worlds. You've got
if you leave the house, this is when you want the action to happen. You want to get frustrated. You want to die. You want to restart. But I have a question for you, Mr. Project Zomboid. When you die, what kind of death is it? Do you restart everything? Do you lose everything? What type of
I
death
assume
is
that
it?
you lose everything because the zombies eat you.
Yes. So what happens? It's a very really interesting game. So like your map creation is separate from your character creation. So you can load up a world, create like a game instance with a world, and so you have a start date in the world, and so you can go in and survive. Like, let's say you survive in game for 6 months, then you get bitten and you slowly die in turn, or you just get overwhelmed and eaten by a horde. Like, what's going to happen? Your character screams, like, like dies, and then they'll turn back into a zombie, and you're given an option of quitting, and you can go back and just overwrite that save or delete the save, whatever, and create a whole new world and a new character. Or it'll also give you an option to just create a new character. And so you can create a new character with different traits, whatever. And then you can go back into that same world that you've already been in for forever. And you can start over fresh again. You'll be later in the world. So like it'll be later after the apocalypse and everything. But you can actually go back with that new character to where your old character died. And you'll see the zombified version of you. You can beat the shit out of them and take back all of your old gear that you had on.
Okay. That's an interesting way of doing things.
Yeah,
so you
it's actually really cool.
Start over from scratch, or you can build a new character but pick up where your old character and kill your old character because he's a zombie.
Yeah. Now, I mean, again, like it's easier said than done, because you're again going to be starting off as a completely new character you're going to have negative traits. So you're going to have to, like, let's say you're a smoker, you're going to have to find more cigs, a lighter. You're going to have to get equipped to go back into the area, because if you died earlier, unless you died somewhere super safe out of starvation or whatever, you're going to have to go there, kill the horde that killed you or whatever, and then be able to get your old body and get everything back. So
yeah, but you have okay. Wow, that's interesting. That's I've never seen that in a game before, because last night I was playing Dead Cells, and what's interesting about Dead Cells, every time you respawn, it's random. The world changes.
Yeah. There's
so
not
you start off where the area looks similar to where you started the first couple of times, but as you move forward, the area has changed. It's no longer 3 doors. Now you have ledges, you got zombies, you got skeletons, and you got enemies. It's like the world randomly regenerates. So I really got frustrated with the game and stopped playing it because of that. I was like, the way I used to play games back when I played the indie games was like, okay, I died multiple times in this game at this area, so I memorized everything.
You die so you can learn.
You die so you can learn. But in this one, you cannot learn. You have to always unlearn what you have learned, because the world keeps randomly generating. Yeah. So I'm like, that's frustrating. And Matt warned me about that, because that's the game he played on the Steam Deck. I was like, how frustrating could it be? And yeah, I cannot play with cheats because the world is randomly generated. So that I'm like, yeah, I give up on this game. I just want now Project Zomboid, and I'm playing Wreckfest to death, because the last time I played a Destruction Derby game was in the PlayStation 1 days. Destruction Derby 2.
Well, all right. So we are going to need to get back to the topics, because we have been talking about video games for like 15 minutes, and I'm sure some people in chat are like, I thought this was going to be Linux. So we'll get back
about games on Linux.
I mean, can I talk about an upcoming new distro that everybody should be installing right now?
Sure.
Well, you see, apparently there are now more than dozens of OpenSUSE users. There are now hundreds. As OpenSUSE Leap last month has reported that they're getting 360,000 downloads in a single day.
Yes, and this is
and
your
as
article.
a result, apparently people are using SUSE. There are geckos. Holy crap!
You got geckos.
Yes. The only news article referencing this that I found was this super opinionated article where it's just like hating. A lot of it's really just like going like, yeah, people are using OpenSUSE because apparently they're tired of Canonical's bullcrap.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason for the new Linux, Ubuntu Flatpak Remix existence.
So
yeah, but
in June 2020 or in June 2022. The number of downloads of OpenSUSE Leap skyrocketed to around 360K.
Yeah, February. And it stayed consistent all the way up until last month too. From what I'm seeing, let's see, if we go to metrics.opensuse.org, we can see
that's way more than Zero Linux.
On February 27th, 360,000 downloads. So, yeah, it's insane. Like that the people are actually downloading OpenSUSE now.
But how many of them are sticking to it?
Yeah, that it doesn't say that anything, Yeah. But if you guys have never checked out OpenSUSE, I actually recommend that it's worth, a look, because OpenSUSE actually has a very unique approach to like doing things, and their installer is something else. But after you take the time to actually figure it out, you actually realize that their installer is actually pretty cool if you actually dig into it.
If you have patience to wait, like I did when I installed OpenSUSE Leap for the first time.
Yes,
it took me 6 hours to install it.
It
took me 6 hours to install. The entire then we had a little bit more power, so it took 6 hours to install.
Yes, but it also pulls down so much stuff when it's installed.
And small
Yes.
packages, because the packages, it's not like pulling a package and then extracting and installing the package. No, it's downloading and extracting at the same time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And like that's the one thing that people normally complain about when it comes to OpenSUSE is when you install it, it pulls down way too much stuff. But at the same time, you won't have to do that in the future.
Yeah,
So-
that, and if you actually read the output of like the zipper command in a terminal, which I know that there is no reason to use a terminal in OpenSUSE because YAST is a thing, but if you actually take the time to actually read the output, it's actually really wordy and it tells you exactly what's going on too, which is actually a thing that a lot of
isn't the octopi look-alike?
Octopi is actually influenced by YAST, but they're very different
They
projects.
look alike. They look similar. Yeah.
Yeah. That said, it's one of those distributions where it's just like before you actually look at like all the distro reviews that like talk about it, and honestly, like just give it a shot if you haven't given it a shot because
they have a rock
have.
band. Like you
I
should
have,
give it
I
a
have.
shot. Like they actually have a band, and it's
they
not
actually
bad.
have a
it's
band.
pretty good.
You can go to SUSE's YouTube channel. You can watch them make parody music videos because they actually know how to do advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't I had people call OpenSUSE Open Sus.
Yeah.
They gave me a Band-Aid package because I cut my finger while I was at Ohio Linux Fest and they had like first aid kits.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
SUSE. It's OpenSUSE, not OpenSUSE. It's
Yeah, there's a
OpenSUSE.
video about how to pronounce SUSE.
Yeah, and you're the one who sent it.
Yep.
And it's also not it's not as or not it's not like the FSF telling you how to pronounce stuff. It's not in a very denigrating way. So
No,
it's actually
it's a hilarious.
I like the video though. I like the video.
Anyways, it's not always going to be slow. Zipper is actually sort of like DNF, where it will actually self-optimize after you use it for some time, and it actually does get pretty snappy. Just remember that unlike DNF and everything else, Zipper is entirely in Python from top to bottom on the stack. So of course and because of the way that it actually downloads and extracts packages, it does take longer to install a package on SUSE compared to like a package manager you're more familiar with, being like After Pacman, which will download the compressed binary, uncompress it, and then install it on your system.
Yep.
The main reason why they do it this way is because all of their packages are downloaded and installed transactionally. Basically, more like it's much closer to like a git pull than it is an actual extraction and just replacing binary.
All right. Well, so I guess my article is the last one, which is good. I told you guys we'd come back to gaming at some point. All right. My article is about the Steam Deck now lets you transfer your games over from your PC.
If we only knew how.
Well, supposedly it's not that difficult. I believe somewhere in this article it talks about how to do it. And it's like essentially really all they've done is they've tried to make it, this update should make transferring your games easier as long as your Steam version's up to date and everything. I don't think you have to be on the beta.
It's a feature called local game transfers, which allows Steam users to transfer existing Steam games from one PC to another PC to the Steam Deck over the local area network. Doesn't actually tell you where the option is.
Well, hold on. The desktop mode received several changes, blah, blah. A new UI for account selection, blah, blah. And a new UI that temporarily replaces the What's New section in the library when pre-purchased games are available to preload and install and play. So there's been a whole bunch of UI changes, and I'm going to assume, because up here it's got it transferring game files in your...
Well, I will say I experienced it. Number one, there is one other change. I don't know if it's mentioned in the article or not. I didn't read the article, but the you can download boot animations from the settings now. You don't need to have a custom boot, custom CSS loader. But as to how to do it, they don't mention in the article.
Yeah.
So we need to figure that out on our own, I guess,
Yes.
or Google for it.
I would definitely Google for it, but I'm also going to assume it's most likely going to be under properties in Steam. Let me see. Do I have Steam open? I do. So I'm going to assume it's probably going to be somewhere in properties, maybe in manage. But I
I
don't
want to
see.
test it because I want
Apparently I don't.
God of War to be on the deck.
Let's see. Local files. No, there's no transfer button there. I don't know. We'll find
I
it
think
out.
what you do is right next to the play button, there's that little down arrow.
Oh wait, hold on. Let's go back
On
up here.
might not be on Zomboid, but like on other games.
Well, Project
So-
Zomboid, I believe, is the only one I got installed right now.
Yeah, but if you have another game installed, you'll have like a little drop. You'll have a green drop down arrow right next to that play button, where you could probably just select that, and you can tell it to, and that does show up all other devices that you're going to be logged into Steam on.
I bet you that button probably appears when my Steam Deck is on and connected to the network. I bet you that would show up. Not sure, but just throwing shit at
One
the
second,
wall.
I am in my library. Okay.
I
God of War.
love how
second.
we're trying to test this out live.
I have to configure Debian on this laptop to enable package repositories for 32-bit. So give me just a second here. Sudo d package add architecture i386.
Someone in chat said there's a support page for it that says how, and I'm sure there is.
There probably is because it's Steam.
Yeah, and we can also. I'm going through the client update. Local network. Yep. Here we go. So active local game page. How it works: before you start download or update a game on Steam, Steam will first check if there are other PCs running running Steam on your LAN that could transfer it to directly. If a potential PC is found, your client will ask the Steam backend server to contact the other PC's Steam client and start a game file transfer if the local network transfers are enabled and possible. If the game, so it's got a full guide here. I'll go ahead and I'll just post this in our chat just in case anyone wants that. It'll be there in chat. And so we've covered all of the articles and stuff, and we're below an hour and 30, which is wild. Did not expect that. So let's go ahead.
Because we didn't have Matt to sit there and complain about some KDE application for the KDE article.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But hey, I mean, we still went off the wagon talking about gaming and stuff, and we were fine. Very surprised. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk about our thingies of the week, and we'll wrap up with, I guess, saying I'm sure that there's going to be a few Project Zomboid streams at some point here in the next little bit. So if anyone wants to catch those, you can. I'll probably be streaming it as long as my family doesn't demand board game time today. Fingers crossed. No. So I guess I'll go off with my thingy of the week. Then we'll go Steve and Josh. We'll go counterclockwise. Yeah.
All right.
So mine will be Pantheon. I'm kind of really enjoying the desktop environment. I like it. It's definitely not for everybody, but if you want something that's polished and just looks good out of the gate and has a simple light and dark mode with accent theming, if that's all the customization you want, you're probably going to really enjoy it. It's nice. It's a nice desktop environment. And so on to you, Steve. What's your thingy of the week?
My thingy of the week. Sorry, I'm trying to download the God of War on the Steam Deck, see if it's going to copy it, but it doesn't seem like it's doing it. So it's downloading through internet. So anyway, my thingy of the week is Amethyst. And hold on to your horses, boys and girls. We're going to have us a little session of laughter. Because if you pull up let's say you go to my forums if you can. I'll send you the link via DM. You have to show this screenshot. You have to. I went through a lot. I ran it on my system to do that. So, where are you, Zany? I'm gonna send it to you. Okay, if you can pull it up. And the first screenshot, and show the first screenshot, and I'm gonna read it because that's gonna put a smile on everybody's face. Successfully upgraded repo packages. I don't know how you pronounce this. Could not find the remote packages for wib32 wibwap.
Whoa, wham! You haven't installed.
Yes, so
has installed.
It's an AUR helper for the people who don't know what it is. It's yet another AUR helper, but this one's got a personality you can turn on or off. It's called the Uwu personality. And for people who don't know what Uwu personality, just go on YouTube and search for OWO. What's this? This video is amazing. She reads a whole article in Uwu mode. It cracked me up. I couldn't understand a thing from the output in terminal because this thing replaces the L's, the R's, and almost everything with a W. So it's gonna be very hard to read. No upgrades available for install AUO packages.
Yes, it essentially gives your desktop a Lisp, which is interesting.
It appears that at least one program you have installed upgraded has installed a pack new config. Phew. These are created when you have modified programs, configurations, and package upgrade. I'm like, okay. You want to enjoy your system? Install that and enjoy, because it replaces Pacman and AUR. It's one command for both. It's like running Paru or Yay, basically. And it runs with the same flags. It has a config file where you can turn on or off this Uwu personality. It's better done by women because, let's be honest, it's not for men to be like that. But it's got a few settings, not a lot, but you have to do it via configuration file. But this personality thing, this twist, just got me rolling on the floor from laughter because I couldn't read for the life of me what's going on. And there's only one caveat to it. I don't know how to get rid of it. I even messaged the developer. I don't know if you got my message, but if he can get rid of this, because naturally in Arch, Pacman creates a backup called pack.packnew. It adds pack new. Every time you run Amethyst, it asks you, do you want me to show you pack diff between the old and the new? I'm like, stop with that. This is what Arch does naturally. So every time I want to update my system, I need to see that and answer no. There's no way to turn it off. So, but other than that, it's hilarious. But it gets old really fast, like everything these days. But for a while, run it. I recommend everyone to run it for a little while if they had a bad day and they want to relax on their computer and have a laugh and forget all the hardships that happened throughout that day or difficulties. Just look at the terminal output while enabling the Uwu mode, and dude, I promise you're gonna forget everything bad that happened throughout that day. It's so good.
That's a good advertisement for it. Just whisk away your day's problems.
It solves the day's problem. It doesn't solve them. It just makes you forget them for a short period of time. And like I said earlier, it will get old with time. So it's not something you're going to be using for like ever. It's something you're going to use for a short period of time, but do use it for that short period of time because it's super funny. It's super funny. It's something to use. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Josh, what about your thingy of the week?
My thing is not nearly as fun, but I would actually argue that it's actually more useful. It's called Junction. It's an application chooser. So basically, and it's very GNOME specific, of course. But anyways, say that you install like your favorite text editor, like VS Code, that sets itself as the default for literally everything from opening files and everything. Well, what this application does is every time you try to open up a file or click a link that's going to try to open up like a web page or something, it's going to pull up a menu that will actually display all of your different web browsers. So that way you're not always accidentally opening things in Firefox when you actually mean to be opening them up in Chrome. Instead, it'll just give you an option to pick from. It's like, where do you want to open this? And it will actually persist afterwards. So that way, if you would click that same link or open up that same program in the future, it will just automatically default to what you previously picked. And you can, and you can pull up the Junction application itself, and you can actually reset these permissions as well. It's actually one of those programs that, like, if you use GNOME, it's actually probably not a bad idea to have this installed, because GNOME and default applications can be a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, boys. Everyone who's been listening to the stream have been hearing my elementary OS notifications. Sorry, I just turned on Do Not Disturb. Didn't realize. There's probably been like 4 throughout this entire stream. My bad. But yeah, so this looks neat. I like that. That is. I'm surprised that GNOME doesn't just have this already.
It does and it doesn't. It's actually really stupid how GNOME does it, because what you have to do is you actually have to right click and select the open with dialog in GNOME.
No. This just seems better over, like they should just integrate this into GNOME. But
this is one of those implementations a lot like gradients, where it's just like gradients should ship with GNOME now too.
Yeah. Expecting GNOME to integrate reasonable things that almost like every user would benefit from. No. Give them 6 years, then they'll do it. But all right, we have actually successfully done the podcast. That's wild. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and close it off here. Thank you everyone for being here. Thanks to all of Matt's patrons who make these streams possible. I would throw up a screen for it, but I could have asked Matt for that, but I didn't think about it. It was a mad dash getting set up, because I definitely didn't sleep for 12 hours straight before this podcast. It definitely was not a thing. But yeah, so thanks everyone for being here. Don't forget to go over and check out Matt's website and his channel if you're not, for whatever reason, already subscribed to him. And yeah, I think we're going to end it off here. Thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you guys.
Right. Bye everybody.
Bye.
All right, I have stopped the recording. I guess we're gonna keep live for a second.
Yeah, I did the mistake today. I clicked end stream and too early, and it cut the end.
Gotta find Audacity in there. All right.
What episode was this? 708.
Oops, I forgot to hit record.
I'm going to go ahead and do, I guess I'm going to let everyone see behind the scenes of like what we do when we're done, why not?
I forgot to hit record on my audio thing.
Oh no.
Are you serious?
Nah.
Dang it. It would have been awesome.
Game, I want you to install, not stream.
Noise reduction and...
Tyler.
Yes, sir.
God of War is now just downloading 341 megabytes on my SteamDeck. Cache. Tater cache.
Because I don't have Steam Play enabled.
So how did it copy the game already? It's 60 gigs.
Probably not.
Yeah,
probably
apparently not. When you decide to install the application, it'll just transfer automatically. Like, there's no special button to transfer the game or anything. It's just called just install the game.
Yeah, and I had to have the latest update of Steam on my desktop, which I didn't have earlier. That's why it started pulling from the internet. So when I updated it and restarted it, now it's pulling from the PC.
Hey,
Yeah.
Lamau, let's go. All right, so
I barely have space. I have 100 gigs free. With this game, I'm gonna have 40.
It 10leej.com.
Oh, you're uploading now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me upload.
I think I've forgotten. Yeah.
Okay, how do you save? How do you save?
Uh,
I need to
ba-doop,
drag it
ba-doop.
here. Save as. Save
What is the
as,
link?
OGG
Nope, not that.
7.8.
Josh, I don't have my bookmark saved on this browser.
Cloud.10leej.com.
Damn it. Damn it. I was doing Drive. So close.
Yeah, I had to kill my next cloud because I couldn't afford it.
Next.
I was enjoying it, but I couldn't afford it. So it's gone.
That's fine. I have up to limit, so you can actually use ours. You have a 5 gig limit.
What? Why is it downloading it again?
Update maybe?
Tyler's audio episode. What it says, 708? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 708.
Oh, wait.
All right.
Steam.
Okay, it's done.
I don't want to stream this. I want to download it.
Save.
Okay,
This
so
computer. There we go.
it's-
All right, so I'm going to upload this thing to our Drive. You guys, everyone in chat, you're welcome for the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. We're just going to keep going because I don't have to send this to Matt. So if you had any questions during the live stream and you haven't already left and you'd like to ask, go ahead. Shoot questions. We'll spend this time just chatting.
Wowie!
Click cancel.
But yeah, guys, this Steam Deck update is awesome because it saved me from having to re-download 50 gig. Literally saved me from having to re-download 50 gigs. I want to see God of War how it runs on the Steam Deck. Of course, the battery is gonna die within less than an hour, but
I'm also gonna just hopefully make this easier on Matt. I'm just gonna upload the entire video recording up to.
That's fine.
Up to
the next cloud.
Yeah, I can't speak for some reason.
Yeah.
So
Go right
videos.
if there's one thing annoying on the Steam Deck is when you go to desktop mode, it's not so nice to use it
Springles,
without a
you're
keyboard and mouse.
screwed. The only thing you can really do is start drinking a bunch of coffee. Do not drink an energy drink because you will make yourself really sick. Just stick to coffee if you need a caffeine kick at all. But if you accidentally took NyQuil, it's honestly just better just to take the nap.
Yeah.
Honestly, just take the nap.
Ooh, I got a lot of updates. Ooh, Tyler, did you ever try to play Undertale?
No, I have not played that one yet. I might own it. I'm not sure.
I've owned it for forever. I just never got to play it on because to be honest, this game is one of those games that better played on a Steam Deck than on a desktop.
Okay, so I just uploaded the first part of the video to the Nextcloud, but the second half is 5.8 gigabytes.
That's fine. I can take it.
Okay, because I just have
No, that
5
Linux
gigabytes.
that Linux cast folder is actually in an S3 bucket, so you can upload as much as you want to it. Just if you ever get it bigger than 250 gigs, that's when I start paying for it. But you have 250 gigs of free use.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. but the folder says 5 gigabytes. Set to 5 gigabytes.
Your account is limited to 5 gigabytes, but that folder is technically unlimited.
Cool. All right. Well, I am uploading it there. It's saying it's going to take about 15 to 16 minutes, which does make sense.
Wow, lucky bastard.
Yeah. It's like good
If
internet.
I want to upload 5 gigabytes, it would take me like 7 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it's still going like that. well, now it's gone all the way up to 40 minutes, which seems about more accurate. It should take this thing about 40 minutes to an hour to actually fully, process and be there. But let's see, I still need a potty. Yeah.
Go potty. Go potty.
Yeah, there's no reason to, I mean, you could also load this up on your phone. Like there's no reason to starve yourself of a bathroom break. Let's see. So what is the best way to take a shower / bath with a Steam Deck without killing it or dying?
It's called Don't.
Well, I mean, you could do that, or
I mean, a bath is fine. Just don't submerge the device, because technically waterproof ratings does not mean that's actually waterproof. It's water resistant, and I don't know why they call it waterproof.
No.
So it's honestly, if you're just going to be taking a shower, just take the shower and don't bring the Steam Deck with you.
Or if you want to live life really on the edge, only wash your head, and that's it. Just let the water hit your head, hold your Steam Deck out as far away from you as you possibly can, and play your game, and just let the water hit your head. No soap, no nothing on your entire body. But also, at the same time, if you're that addicted to playing your game on the Steam Deck that you're fine with just letting the water run over you and then calling that a shower, especially also because you're not going to wash your arms or really allow water to get, in any crevices. That's disgusting. Please just set the Steam Deck down and get a shower. Treat yourself right. Waterproof is a term to sell, kind of like private, no logs for VPNs. Yeah, that's not really true, because trust me, my iPhone is remarkably waterproof for an iPhone. Like, I've literally I do not recommend doing this, but my phone comes in, sadly, because my mom will not let me mount a TV over my shower yet. I'm hoping soon that'll happen, but in the meantime, I take my iPad or my phone and set it up on the lip of the shower at the end and watch like TV shows, because I take really long showers, probably because I also watch an episode of TV every time I take a shower, but whatever, at least I'm getting clean. So I've dropped my phone before in the shower, and I've also grabbed it and changed episodes and let the water hit it, and it's just fine. It's totally fine. Like, no problem. I would not take it with me in a bath and fully submerge it, but it's pretty waterproof.
I'm still not able to get this
You're welcome.
Steam
You're
transfer
welcome for that
No,
advice.
wait. It's not downloading from the PC, because it's downloading the shader cache from the internet. So I'm like, don't understand. I got my...
Well, the shader cast is not the game.
No, I know, but it's doing like multiple ones. It's like at its 7th, and it's
I have
300,
no idea.
400 megabytes a pop. So I'm like, what?
Actually, there's a guy that made a thing that covers your hands, and it's see-through and cushioned to be like an anti-controller range. I have no idea.
Okay, let me check online.
Yeah, I wouldn't take my iPhone into a pool, but I'm planning on eventually getting another Apple Watch, just because they're, especially once I get back into like exercising on a regular basis, I'm definitely going to get one, because those things are sick. Like, them things, you can dive into a pool, go to the like bottom of a 12-foot area, and then still use the fucking thing at the bottom of a pool, which is them bitches are waterproof, like real good. I took a video underwater with my S8 before. It died. It died not because of the water though. I wouldn't trust Samsung's waterproof at all. But no, I'm glad it didn't die. I will never know the answer to what? Yours? The potty in your room? Wait, hold on. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Never know the answer to what? the potty in my room. Sadly, I don't have one. I have to walk out into a regular bathroom.
Oh no, the terror.
Yeah, I should totally get like I've been thinking about this for a while, but
Oh, he's talking about that thing beside your window there behind you.
oh, that? No, that's all Buddy's food. That's a food container. If I open it up, it's filled with dog food. I mean, it's brown, so it'll look like shit too. So like, I could have lied and said it was a potty in my bathroom.
It's just a composting toilet. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well,
Yo,
actually,
Tyler.
that's what I was gonna say. Wait, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go to Steam settings, download. You will see it all the way at the bottom. Game file transfer over local network.
Downloads. Oh yeah. Allow transfers.
And you can select from any user from Steam, and I cannot complete the sentence because there's 3 dots. Own device. Okay, own device. Okay. Click OK.
Yeah, so you just go into Steam, downloads, and then at the bottom, game file transfer over local network.
And you have to do the same thing on the Steam Deck, I guess.
I think it's allow transfers to from my Steam devices. I'm gonna assume. I'll allow it to any user.
That's what I'm going to
over my
do.
network.
Because I'm
from
still
my Steam
experimenting with this
friends,
myself.
from my own PC. Okay.
Yeah, if I ever have friends over that want to download a game, at least that way it'll be faster.
Because, you know, the wonderful thing about, like, you know, a remote mounted Steam library like what I use is that I can hook to that Steam library from any computer, but only one computer at a time.
Yeah.
Why?
Because every time,
per second.
well, every Steam session that connects to that library will download updates for the games, and then those game updates will only apply for that session. So, say like my laptop here, which runs Debian, it has its own Debian packages that Steam will actually manage and update for the games, compared to like my desktop, which is on Arch Linux.
All right.
That said, I do not seem to be able to get the local share working on my non-Steam Deck device.
Oh no.
But I don't get it. It's still downloading shader cache from the internet, so I don't get it.
This is definitely going to be the only podcast for the Linux Cast where there is this much of an after show or post show, whatever you want to call it.
It's something. That's what it is.
Oh no, I don't want to say. God, stop trying to ask me to save my project. No, thank you. Bye, Audacity. Perfect. All right.
What? Now in Steam, the green play button, you have a drop down. You can play from stream on the PC from the Steam Deck.
Yeah, you've always been able to. That's Steam's remote play.
Ah.
I mean, I don't.
Who would do that?
Yeah, I don't know who would do that.
Me.
Why?
That's how I get the video games on my HTPC.
Well, but wouldn't you want to stream them from your desktop to the Steam Deck, or?
If I had a Steam Deck, I actually would do that.
Okay, I have just gassed myself. I may have passed a little bit of gas, and now I think I'm dying.
Well,
oh come on,
that
dude!
said,
Don't overdo it.
Steam's remote play over the local network is actually really good, and if you haven't messed around with it, I actually much prefer it, even though most of the time I'm doing it over a wired connection and not the wireless. But you know, it works great for a lot of games, and it's really low latency because it's actually just a local network transfer compared to, like, you know, connecting over to like some cloud server and then coming back to you. So it's really low latency.
All right.
I don't understand what's going on, but it's like I care. I'm gonna just transfer the game over a USB drive and over. I don't understand this transferring over network. it's either not working or it has to download the shader cache from the internet and then transfer the game after that from the PC.
Well, you probably have to, like, after enabling it on the desktop, you probably have to go in and enable it on the Steam Deck as well. And then you got to stop the download completely, like delete it off of the Steam Deck, then try it again.
That's what I'm thinking of doing, because so far it's downloading shader cache from the internet. And
well,
because
it might also have to do that, because I don't think the shader cache is.
Well,
like,
the shader cache is shaders are compiled for your local system. So like if
yeah, that explains
yeah.
it. That explains it.
So that's why
Yeah.
it's downloading the shader cache from the internet.
Now it got to the game. Now it got to the game.
you guys in
34
chat are
gigabytes.
awesome.
Let's see if it's going to transfer from local network. The only way I could tell is the speed, because my ISP speed is 1 megabyte per second, so it's like 8 megabits.
Fun fact is, if you're a KDE user, you can use KDE Connect to actually transfer files from.
Yeah, it never
to
worked
another.
for me. It never worked for me. KDE Connect transferring a file bigger than like 5 megabytes to my phone would hang.
Well, get a better network. I don't know.
I got a Linksys router. It's a pretty good router. It's not that.
Well, all right. I guess we're going to go ahead and end it here. Everyone, thank you guys for being here, enjoying the post show, whatever the post show was. But we'll see you guys. Have a good one. Boy.
All right. I'll see you.